Dear friends, I'm glad to see you all here. It's Sunday, 8th of May, 3 minutes past 10 p.m. A new stream with Olexiy Arestovych, day 74. Please tell us the news that you have for today, Sunday, day 74. Mark, probably better you ask me. There is a lot of news, and I don't even know where to start, so let's start from the top, I guess. J7 has occurred. We are not the news agency, so we'll not go into details of what happened, but we can grade some of the events. Major positions have been confirmed. The main formula was Putin should not be let to win. And I guess that formula has a bit of an opportunity for the party of peace in Kremlin to win. Individual sanctions were also discussed. The United States is leading that charge. There are officials from Belarus, from Russia, banks, television, many people getting under the sanctions. We are here to just give an estimate of these events. And they're keeping, to sum it up, they keep the pressure. Even Volodin in Russia mentioned that, or actually had to react to that event, and basically stating that the pressure exists because we're too successful. And the pressure exists because we are succeeding in not letting NATO to push to the east. He essentially pitted Russia versus NATO in that statement, and that helps. As long as Russia will be officially pitted against the whole world and NATO, so that'll lead to the sooner conclusion. Of course, everything hangs on the amount of equipment being supplied to Ukraine. There is a package of economic assistance that still needs to be voted in the United States, likely by the end of May. $330 billion, very important. We would want to have it here sooner, but even the end of May is all right. Oil is being refused, Russian oil is being refused around the world. Most countries are rejecting it, so that's another good piece of that news. First Lady of the United States came to Uzhgorod and met with the First Lady of Ukraine. An important step, kind of humanitarian aspect. And First Ladies usually respond to are responsible for the packages of humanitarian matters. Christina Quinn came back today with American diplomats to the Embassy of the United States in Kiev and once and for all closed the matter of question that I've been getting really tired of. Olexiy, will there be a nuclear strike on Kiev? So I'm glad that Christina is back in Kiev. That is basically an answer. There will not be a nuclear hit, a nuclear strike on Kiev. Thank you, Christina Quinn, and employees of American Embassy. I'm already tired recording these videos, and I think I need to record another psychological snippet about the next phase of this war to dispel some of these scary boo-boos. And you'd think they're smarter than that. There are a lot of administration executives spreading these rumors that there'll be a mega strike, there'll be a huge strike, a lot of victims. Dear colleagues, dear bureaucrats, please stop spreading these rumors. I need to remind everyone that psychological provocations will continue. We're still at war. Please do not detach from reality. It might have slipped my attention to address that point. All right. Russian artillery, together with aviation and missiles, one of the most beautiful churches of Svetogorskaya Lavra is destroyed. One of the schools in Luganskaya region was destroyed. Which school? Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm pretty tired by the evening, so it is hard for me to recall every name. It is starting with B, but I apologize. I cannot recall it like that. And also yesterday they hit the house, the museum house of Skovoroda, who is celebrating 300 years this year with UNESCO. This is a philosopher. It's a great Ukrainian philosophic thinker. And that area had no military targets, so this is not a miss. This was on purpose. Today, Israel TV asked me a question: between your brotherly nations, can there be any peace negotiation right now? I actually did respond to them that one of these brotherly nations is conducting a genocide of my people in Ukraine right now. Right, so in current understanding of brotherly, that probably is a Jewish Nazi from Israel, I guess, in a Russian view of the world. So about the front, they're really pushing Popasna near Donetsk. As I said, really, really complicated situation there. Avdiivka, there is no change there. Izium, Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Barvinkova also under pressure, but a bit less. But that's mostly due that their leading charges are attacking Popasna and Rubezhne. And Popasna is basically out of our hands at this point. We withdrew to the next set of fortifications, and there is a war there, true Russian style. Throw as many people as you need to take that area. There is no real city left, it's been leveled. Any citizens left in it? No, unless somebody is still hiding in the basement, there shouldn't be any. Mariupol, the command in the Azov Steel recorded a statement, and they did address a lot of sensitive and painful subjects there, that their defense was being sabotaged initially by the local administration, who refused to do any preparations. But overall, the conclusion was that A, they will continue to fight because they have enough means to do that, and secondary, there is no reason for them to surrender because they're facing pretty certain death from Russian extremists there. So for a soldier, what is better, death in prison or death during the war fight? It's a pretty simple decision. And today, they did accuse our president that he has not executed or used every opportunity that exists. President and Mikhail Podolyak came back at them saying that they are trying all the diplomatic routes, and at the same time suggested that they should be appealing to the military command because military actions are out of hand and basically are being relayed or being laid on the shoulders of the military command. So ask them about deblocking and finding a way, deblocking, how to get to that city if there is an opportunity. And that's what I want to say. Confirm here that they should be asking those people and politicians who are throwing liquid fire into the fire and setting everything ablaze by saying that we're not doing enough to rescue them. So I would maybe suggest that some people who want to add more effort to the problem resolution, they should turn to friends of Russian Federation or ex-friends of Russian Federation, near friends of Russian Federation, to see if they can also help. But it's been interesting. Like today, for example, in Berlin, they asked some of the people waving Ukrainian flags to take them down because they did not want to provoke Russian citizens of Berlin, I guess. At the same time, they did not approach the same manner people waving Russian banners. So, international help would be very appreciated. Also, in the last 24 hours, we hit a few things with artillery and airplane, air-to-surface hits, some munition depots in Zaporozhye really well. And yeah, last day was pretty popular in the political events. Canada also cancelled all duties for the imports from Ukraine, and the whole world is kind of trying to help us as much as they can in different sectors of economy. All right, more details that our viewers were asking. Let's go back to Mariupol. The situation in it, on a personal point of view, regardless of political or military management, you still consider that there is no military solution to this problem. There's really nothing to discuss here. There is no military solution in my mind. We cannot achieve victory in the areas where we do have access, because Russian army in those parts very often has a very large numeric advantage. Like, look at us, we wanted to keep Opasne, did we keep it? No, we didn't, we withdrew. To Mariupol, it's at least 60 kilometers, about 60 miles to get there, and that's facing a much stronger forces of enemy, higher concentration and more capabilities on this in this direction. So how are you planning, any of those who are screaming there about the existence of solution, how do you plan to get your troops to Mariupol? Probably this question shouldn't be asked with dilettantes, amateurs. No, I think since they're screaming most about that, they should be trying to answer. And we can also ask this question of the politicians giving interviews on the TV, the ones who are trying to start their election campaign. And this is ridiculous because, excuse my language, some of these factors who are speculating on this subject and saying that there is a solution, that powers did not use all the resources they can. Well, in the office, I hear, the most words that I hear in the president's office is Mariupol and Azovstal. So I know the efforts they're taking. But somebody really wants the office to be guilty. Military are not in charge, and it's really everything on Zelensky's office. Because everything bad is on Zelensky's office. Basically, his political opponents are trying to use that. So, in my opinion, this is earning election points on the blood of your citizens. Guys, I want to say that elections and the end of war are as far as walking to Beijing in a known funny pose, referring to one of the sayings. So that's why I understand all these attempts to state that there are more ways, more options, etc. They're really politically linked to trying to dethrone the current office. And personally, I do have my godson there, and another one was seriously wounded a bit north of Mariupol. So what am I doing here? Trying to figure a way how to bury him there and not doing anything to get him out? And also one of my best military friends is there, right there. So tell me, yeah, 60 kilometers, this is ridiculous. This is a big distance. It's pretty thick. You can't even sneak into the city. The thing is, Mark, it's not that if we're standing and just don't want to advance to the city. Problem is, if we try to move anyone in that direction, they will be facing so much fire from the opposite side that their chances of getting to the city are very slim. So what do you think? They do have a chance to stand there at least till the end of month? Well, they gave their own conclusion that they are staying and fighting. It is up to them. You think they'll have enough ammo? Well, that's what they said. I have not watched the whole press conference, but I've read the experts from it, and they did mention that they have enough ammo. All right. Let's go further. Biden's wife met with Elena, the spouse of President. They visited a hospital together. Does it mean there is a chance that Biden also might visit? This is hard to tell. I'm thankful that his wife came. Even if he's going to, nobody will tell until he's actually here. So we'll know that, and even me, only when he lands. So. We have 400,000 people watching, whereas people joking at us, there is 1 billion viewers and even the unborn children. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, to Olexiy's channel. If you're watching that in English, do not forget to subscribe to Privateer Station. Alright, so next question. 9th of May is tomorrow. Our estimate, I think, matches. We both think that Putin is not going to call for general mobilization in the country and is not going to call every male in Russia to arms. What is your prognosis? Well, it's difficult to prognosticate that. This is not really a logical event. It is in the hands of 1, maybe 3 people, and it ends in the hands of those people. It's basically an act of will that will happen or will not. Personally, logically, I do not see a reason doing it. It's basically resigning from success on the victory day and saying that you're losing. But yet again, where is logic and where is Putin? They're pretty far apart. So we don't know. Do you think this may actually push to affect the end of this conflict? If he does not make that statement tomorrow, and I hope he doesn't, it doesn't seem like he will, what time will Ukraine have to break the situation in its favor? There is nothing you can really break here just by our forces. If they're voting for the next big package at the end of May to supply us with a wave of American armor, it likely will be a couple weeks after that, 2-3 weeks for it to get to us. So that actually gives a bigger window for Russians to regroup and to throw their soldiers again in this grinder, and, even to a degree that they can try to invade our country near Kiev again. So it is a long story that depends upon the capability of our country to aggregate those supplies, that armor and other resources being given to us by the world. So do you think Russians will be able to attack you with the current forces, whatever they have, if they add more people? Well, they will find something to put them on. It will not be new equipment, it likely will be old, but they still will. They're also trying to repair some of the broken stuff. We see them trying to tow away the tanks and armored vehicles that are towable. So we've seen them make an effort to keep some equipment running, operational. We even seen the T-62 tanks here. They're from the 60s of the last century. They're old tanks that they're taking from some storage someplace. We're jokingly waiting for T-34s here. So answer me this, T-62, can it be hit with a high caliber? Can you hit through the armor? Well, no, not in the front, no. On the side you can be successful even with the usual tank, unless it has some dynamic armor and other things. But again, you could probably weld dynamic armor if you have components for it. It's not too difficult. The question is this is a tank. It will be moving, and we'll need to use javelins or NLAWs on it. Otherwise, it will be pressing our soldiers. So, military speak, it's a resource that they bring to the fight, and it'll eat our resources to destroy it. Next question, Snake Island. We've seen you destroying a small boat, small craft, and also hitting the helicopter while it was landing a set of troops on the island. Do you think they can use it as a jumping point for attack on Odessa? No, I don't think so. This is a really small island. It's basically 2 football fields, very open. So I think it's their old paradigm of grabbing and holding some places, and they're trying to pull it here. And for us, it's kind of favorable. We can continue hammering that area. So as long as they send more troops and we destroy them, we actually like it. I just don't understand why would they do that. Well, this is a Russian way of war. What are you surprised with? To capture it and hold it for whatever reason. So, yeah, when people are asking us why don't we retake the island, why would we? I mean, it would matter, it would make that a Chernobyevka for us, so they will know where to hit. We don't want to send our guys to that target, so as long as we can be hitting them there and they keep coming, that's a good place. All right, let's return to sanctions. This is also still interesting. We saw what Americans announced today about the banks and the management of Sber and Gazprom Bank. That guy, fella Golubov, who ran to Kiev, he probably ran right on time, right? Well, yeah, especially given in mind how they killed several families, assassinated several families of the top executives of that bank. It makes sense that he ran on time. It's easier to be in territorial defense in Kiev than dead in the top level of Gazprom Bank or Sberbank. So these personalized sanctions, are they still being discussed or they're implemented? No, they've been implemented today. They announced 2,600 people under the sanctions in both Belarus and Russia. When did they do it? They announced it today that they will be implementing these sanctions. You know, I've been traveling today, so I did not have time to read the whole statement. I was just reading briefs from it. But it seems like it's been announced, and it's the matter of just working it in the practice. I don't think that happened before, that scale. Yeah, probably not, but they're starting and it takes time. So Google seems to be also imposing some sanctions on them. So some of the Gmail and a bit of YouTube and other resources they have will likely be blocked. YouTube is already trying to block a lot of these propaganda resources from Russia. So I wonder if there is a way to attract more attention to YouTube. Maybe talk to your Mark, see if they can work on that side. It's not so simple. So, see, there is a very well-known place in one of the monasteries here, and they destroyed it recently. Also, Trudeau is visiting the country. He stated that the help with weapons shall continue. German Chancellor said that they will not accept Ukrainian surrender if it will be pushed onto them by Russian resources. American defense company Lockheed Martin wants to double their production of javelins. That's understandable. So, all right. Where is that? I'm looking for that piece of news I saw. Watching. All right. J7 slowly refuse or reject usage of Russian oil and implement a full embargo on it. Implement sanctions against the banks of Russia, continue fighting the regime, trying to spread its propaganda. So I think this article we can use against them in YouTube and other places. Oh, and they're also sanctioning close family members of Vladimir Putin. All right. There is that 6,000 persons list also that FBK prepared, Navalny's group. J7 countries will continue providing help to Ukraine and will be providing financial assistance to Ukraine as well. And they said that they will help to rebuild the country after this conflict is over. They also mentioned that the war in Ukraine threatens the supply of a lot of food items in the world, since Ukraine was a big player in that market. All right, where's that 2.6? White House published the next set of sanctions against Russia. Channel 1, NTV, heads of Sberbank, Gazprom Bank, Moscow Industrial Bank, they will include sanctions against Russians and Belarusians, and also against heads of regions and some of the cities. So, and yeah, they're mentioning about 2.6 thousand people overall. So that's roughly about a third of the list that Navalny and his team had for sanctions like that. All right. Look, I'm getting tired of the questions about closed borders from our viewers. Is there any way to still draft the male population of Russia? Yeah, there is a possibility to do that, but I am very skeptical about them doing it. I also have qualms with the Ukrainian draft and the fact that we're closing borders and not letting some of the men travel. We already have more people desiring to serve in our army than we have weapons. Even people who served for like 8 years. I have a lot of officers that I know who've been 5 times on the front before, and they cannot get a spot. While people who have epilepsy and terminal cancers, they somehow ended up in the army. How did they get there? Well, the hustle of the first days of war, probably. But I am pushing for them to review the health condition of everybody, and if it is matching the job description, then yeah, sure, keep them. But it does take time to prep the army, and you need to do that. You just need to train the ones who are volunteering to serve, and these questions need to be asked with the local governments, why they're omitting that important activity. Because war, as we said before, is a catalog of horrible mistakes, but the thing is, we need to be correcting these mistakes as much as we can. I'm starting my little jihad against this problem, because this is ridiculous what they're doing, that they're not letting some people go abroad when they could be more useful there. They're not letting sailors to go out where they actually bring money, economic value to the country. They could carry Ukrainian flag proudly around the world and also provide us with the services that they are performing. One thing if we did not have enough people in the trenches, but we do. And there are issues with specific specialties that we have a shortage of professionals in. Metallurgy, some of the IT people. Also, if somebody has 2 kids and they're over 40 years old, perhaps shouldn't be the first target. If they really want to, let them, but do not make a point of drafting them. Scientists, performing artists, they probably can do more in their usual lines of duty. So I'm not seeing enough progress on that side, and I'm kind of starting my little jihad to try to figure how to resolve these things. This matter needs to be should have been resolved a while ago. So do I understand right that the power in Ukraine understands that this area needs fixing? I would say there is a broad discussion going about these problems, and we're trying to tackle them, yes. So today we also heard about the accusation that some people are throwing that Ukrainian government and military did not put landmines in the south, did not protect the towns there, did not prepare any defense. So I have a very short answer here. That will be investigated. Our district attorneys have enough power to review these things and to make their judgment if it was legit or if it was in violation of regulations and terms and laws. So we're a legal country, we'll have those services take care of that. You know, we need to understand that each, again, using another thing from in Ukraine, each lamb should carry his own balls, his own Fabergé. So don't go trying to pull some other things from other people. So there are systemic things that need addressing. Like even military have faults. They are known for throwing territorial defense in the tough areas where they are not prepared to fight against Russian attacks when they intensify. There are these things with blocking people from leaving or doing their work. So there are some systemic things we need to address. Okay, we have 475,000 people watching us. It's a big number for Sunday evening. My request, please share these links, share the links to this cast to your social media, share with your friends, and sometimes you can see the QR code near my face on that video. You can subscribe via that QR code. We also post a lot of things there. And one of the main features there is the crazy chat where thousands and thousands of people are talking. So there is a lot of conversation happening there. You can choose any kind of conversation style with them. And by the way, if you're listening to that in English, please subscribe to the Privateer station and leave your like. That helps with an algorithm. So, last question for today. Tomorrow is the 9th of May. We shall have our stream tomorrow night, whenever we'll already know of everything that happened and what Putin announced or did not announce. Oh, yeah, right after the nuclear war, right? What? Oh, yeah, okay, yes, after that, after the flight of his doomsday plane on over the Red Square. Let's talk about that. Do you think any holiday will be celebrated in Ukraine? No, what holiday at this point? You've seen that video from Putin to Ukraine people. People already gave an answer to that. Fuck you, asshole, basically. Stop talking to Ukrainians and pretending that you're not killing us while you're talking about some things that look nice for you. How would you describe that? Well, huilo is a huilo. It's a derogatory from male copulatory organ in Russian. Side note. People are accusing me of using these terms in our chat. Well, I'm sorry, but it was accumulating for a while. That's one of the things that I don't like, when people present themselves to be innocent when they're actually pretty dark. Okay, so we have 475,000 people watching us. We've been live for about 37 minutes. Let's get together tomorrow. It'll be a special day. We try to answer all of the questions, and the ones we did not get to today, we'll answer tomorrow. Olexiy, we'll see you tomorrow. Yes.